All right, we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to Fed Reacts. Today we're going to be talking about the Diddy case. I'm solo right now, but we'll see what ends up happening, guys. Let's get into it. Oh. I'm Special Agent with Homeland Security Investigations, okay, guys? HSI.
This is what Fed Reacts covers.
Defendant Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony. So here's what 6ix9ine actually got. This attack shifted the whole U.S. government. This guy got arrested for espionage, okay? Trading secrets with the Russian John Wayne Gacy, a.k.a. the Killer Clown, okay? One of the most prolific serial killers of all time, killed 33 people. Zodiac Killer is a pseudonym of an unidentified serial killer who operated in Northern California. All these serial killers, guys, they really get off on getting attention from the media. Many years, Jeffrey Epstein sexually exploited and abused dozens of minor girls at his home. It was OJ working together to get Nicole killed. We're gonna go over his past, the gang ties, so that this all makes sense. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to Fed Reacts, man. So, guys, let me know, is audio good? Give me ones in the chat if audio is good. We should be good on audio. We're live on all the platforms, Twitter, CastleClub, Rumble, YouTube, etc. Give me ones if we are good. You guys can hear me loud and clear, and we are going to get this thing going. All right, sweet. I see a bunch of ones. All right, good. All right, so let me go ahead and just fix this real fast. Yeah, sorry guys for the delay, man. I really apologize for that. I've been waiting for Ack. The last he told me he was on a Clubhouse chat with Whack 100 or something like that. But, you know, it is what it is. It's taking too long, so I wanted to give you guys some update. We're going to talk about the Diddy case. There has been some new developments on it. But what I'll do is, as always, I like to give you guys the full background on what's going on. So you guys, you know, whether you watch my last episode where I broke this down or you're watching this one, you'll have an idea of what's going on. I always like to do the full background. But let's see here. Let me make sure I don't have anything I need to read. We got a chat from DD Dawn says from CastleClub, which, by the way, guys, get into CastleClub, CastleClub.tv. We got almost 7,000 members in there strong. Go support over there if you guys rock with the mission. We're doing everything over there, whether it's you know, doing the Zoom calls, behind the scenes exclusive content, all that stuff, extra content on IRLs, etc. It's all there on CastleClub.tv, man. Go check it out. Check us out over there. But yeah, so and I also prioritize the chats as well on CastleClub as well. Okay, so I see we're good on CastleClub. Sweet. Good. This makes me very happy. Oh man, where'd the chat go? I had it here. Where'd I put it? Okay. DD Dawn says, Myron, can you make a video or a playlist talking about history? What do Democrats stand for? What do Republicans stand for? Different lies we've been told about history by books and government that are false. Things for that nature. I know zero to nothing on history and geopolitics. Just want to learn, but not the wrong things. Or do you already have videos on these topics? You know what, dude? Yeah, I could do that for you guys. I can do that. I think there has been some demand. As you guys know, we're not going to be doing after hours on Monday nights anymore. We're going to be doing a more of a news show. It's going to be Fresh&Fit News. It's going to be on Monday nights at 10 p.m. So we won't interfere with any of the other, you know, political commentators. We're going to talk about geopolitics. We're going to talk about American politics. We're going to talk about what's going on, trending events, etc. We're going to cover a bunch of different things. As you guys know, I'm really active on Twitter, right? Because I'm banned on Instagram, which that's a whole other thing. Some losers paid to ban us. Hopefully we'll get it back soon. But yeah, man, I think it's very important to talk about this stuff. I know some people have some questions about, oh, why do you talk politics, etc. Well, guys, you got to understand that you need to understand what's going on in the government, what's going on in the United States, what's going on in the world, because that can impact you, okay? I don't know if you guys remember, but as soon as the Russia war started, right, what ended up happening? Immediately, the prices of goods went up. You need to know what's going on, guys. You need to know the reality of the world that you live in. It's very important for you as a man, especially, to be aware of this stuff. You're not a hot girl. You can't get by on your looks and be on a yacht and get saved by somebody. As a man, you need to know everything that's going around you. You need to be competent, okay, so you can go ahead and navigate the world correctly, all right? And that'll play into your money as well. Why do you guys think I'm investing so aggressively into real estate? I understand what's going on in the world. I understand that the U.S. dollar is not strong right now. I know it's strong compared to other currencies, but it's a fiat currency not backed by anything. It's backed by oil. And guess what happened? Saudi Arabia just decided we're no longer going to be on a petrodollar anymore. So what's the most inflation-proof methodology to store your money? Real estate. One of the best ways. cryptocurrency, etc. But you're not going to know this unless you pay attention to the news, see what's going on, watch the markets, watch what's going on in the election. It's an election year, of course. Watch what's going on with world conflicts. We're on the verge of World War III, man. You know, like this stuff is important, man. So we want to red pill you guys not just on girls and dating, but on how the world really works. This is the truth when it comes to all different endeavors, man. Because we can sit here and talk about girls all day, but you know, we're a higher IQ audience than that, man. You know, we do the true crime thing, we cover the news, cover dating, cover girls, cover intersexual dynamics. That's all good and stuff. But I think it's very important to be able to cover other topics as well and be well diversified, guys. Being well diversified is super important. So anyway, okay. So anything else here? But yeah, I could do that for you, Didi Don. I could definitely do that for y'all. Do like a whole crash course on certain topics that they've lied to us about, which there's a bunch of them, trust me. Uncle Luke says, I'm glad you guys are limiting after hours and are focusing on more important things. Modern women are only part of the problem in the West. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Uncle Luke. Also, Myron, can you do a Friday night IRL at the gun range, but without neon? I think that would be hella entertaining. I'll do one eventually. When can we get Act back on the pod? I thought Tommy was supposed to join for the JFK assassination. He was really well informed. It was crazy. Yeah, I think he had to take care of his daughter, guys. He couldn't make it for the last stream that he was supposed to show up on. But it's all good. He's gonna come back. Which, by the way, if you guys didn't see that JFK assassination video, bro, you guys need to go see that. That was one of my most favorite interviews we did. I brought Corey Hughes on. We talked about JFK, who was really behind killing him. And just put it this way, it's on Rumble. It's not on YouTube. It's on YouTube, but like most of it is gone off YouTube. So it's on Rumble. Go check it out on Rumble, guys. Okay? All right. So today we're going to be talking about the Diddy case, guys. We're going to talk about updates of what's going on with it. I think we're cool. Yeah, we're live on all platforms, guys. We're live on Rumble, YouTube. We're not up on Twitch right now because, who cares about Twitch? All right, so let's get into it, my friends. Enough yapping. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm like still not as good with this thing as everybody else. Okay, cool. So let me move my mug out the way. Move it over here. All right, so for those of you that live under a rock, because I understand that not everybody in my chat is aware of hip-hop and knows what's going on. So let's go ahead and talk about this real quick. Who is Sean Diddy Combs? Sean Love Combs, born Sean John Combs, November 4, 1969, also known by his stage name Diddy, formerly Puff Daddy and P.Diddy. Yes, if you guys were wondering, yes, this is Puff Daddy. Same thing. He's went by many different monikers throughout the years. Is an American rapper, record producer, and record executive. He's credited with discovery and cultivation of artists such as Notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige, and Usher. Combs won a Grammy Award from 13 nominations, has 3 Grammy Awards from 13 nominations, 2 MTV Music Video Awards, and a Guinness World Record for most successful rap producer in 1997. Born in Harlem and raised in Mount Vernon, New York, Combs worked as a talent coordinator at Uptown Records before funding his own record label, Bad Boy Records, in 1993. He embarked on his recording career following the mainstream success of his first signee, the Notorious B.I.G., for whom he served as a manager and hype man. Released in the wake and memory of his own song Murder, Combs' debut studio album No Way Out 1997 was met with critical acclaim, peaked atop the Billboard 200, received septuple platinum certification by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA. Its superseding singles Can't Nobody Hold Me Down featuring Mace and I'll Be Missing You with Faith Evans featuring 112 both peaked on the Billboard Hot 100. The latter became the first hip-hop song to debut atop the chart. His second and third albums, Forever, 1999, and The Saga Continues, 2001, both peaked at number 2 on the Billboard 200 despite mixed critical reception, while his fourth, Press Play, in 2006, peaked atop the chart once more. Combs then formed the musical group Diddy, Dirty Money, with Diddy R&B singers Kalina, Harper, and Dawn Richard to release a collaborative album, Last Train to Paris, 2010, which peaked at number 7 and was supported by the single Coming Home, featuring Skylar Grey. His fifth studio album, The Love Album, Off the Grid 2023, was met with moderate critical and commercial response and served as his first release without a major label. So why do I read all that? I read all that to let you guys know that this guy isn't a legend in the music industry. At the end of the day, when this is all said and done, he's going to go down as one of the best music producers of all time. He's going to go down as a hip-hop legend. He's going to go down as someone that founded a lot of hit artists that you guys have come to learn and love, whether it's Biggie or Usher, being involved with Mary J. Blige, etc. The guy is accomplished. The guy, there's a reason why there's a media spectacle around this case, and it's because this guy has quite a bit of accomplishment in the music industry. That's why I want to make sure I read that for you guys, because not everyone is, that watches me is well-versed on hip-hop, which understandably so. It is a degenerative genre of music, so I get it, right? So, as you guys know, right, fast forward to late last year, what ends up happening? Diddy gets hit with this lawsuit by who? Cassie Ventura, right? And this was filed on November 16, 2023, at the end of last year. And I remember when this news first broke, right? And here's Cassie Ventura for some of you guys that are wondering. Cassandra, and she's the one that kind of kicked this all off, okay? Cassandra Elizabeth Ventura, born August 26, 1986, known mononymously as Cassie, is an American singer, dancer, actress, and model born in New London, Connecticut. She began her musical career after meeting producer Ryan Leslie in late 2004, who signed her to his record label Next Selection Lifestyle Group. In 2006, Ventura released her debut single, Me and You, which was discovered by rapper Sean Diddy Combs. Leslie agreed to partner his Next Selection imprint with Combs and Bad Boy Records for the commercial release of her debut album. The song marked the first of her 2 entries on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 3 by July 2006. And for some of you guys that are wondering, it's this song right here, which I'm not going to play because I don't want to get hit with copyright. But this song, to this day, they still play this. Okay, guys, and this is the music video. Feel free to go check it out, you know. But this is the song, all right? But, yeah, and obviously she had some other hits as well, but this was like her biggest one. This one, I mean, you hit top 3 on Billboard, you're pretty much getting played all across the country. You're going to be on radio spins like every fucking hour, all right? And I remember 2006, what was I doing in 2006? I was working at McDonald's, guys. In 2006, this song was out, Jim Jones, We Fly High. I was at McDonald's, I wasn't flipping burgers. I was 16 years old at the time. I was doing drive-thrus. I was working at the drive-thru, getting in trouble there, messing up orders and shit. So, and I think I've told you guys my stories about McDonald's and how I got fired. But that's a story for another day if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. But yeah, dude, 2006, man. So anyway, her and Diddy, guys, end up having a very long-term relationship, right? And next thing you know, she files this lawsuit against him. Now, originally, he was going to fight it, guys, but then he ended up settling a day later. I think he settled for like, what he said, for an undisclosed amount. Let me see here. Let me see if it's on here. Let's see here. Okay. One day after filing a lawsuit, the parties announced that they had reached an agreement to resolve the case and did not disclose the terms of the out-of-court settlement. Okay. In May 2024, CNN obtained and published a video of Combs grabbing Ventura, punching her, and then throwing her to the ground and kicking her and stomping her in a hotel. Okay. I think you guys have all seen this video. I'm not going to show the whole one, but you just go Diddy Hotel, Cassie, and this is the video right here, right? Where he like attacks her. I mean, if it's on YouTube, let's see. Oh, hold on, let me unmute this for you guys. I'm sorry.
You're about to see is extremely graphic. The surveillance footage that was captured in...
My man chased her down in a towel. Like, bro, what the fuck, man?
Inside of a Los
And this is at the Intercontinental Hotel. I think this was in LA, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Los Angeles, yep.
Angeles Hotel.
March of 2016.
In 2016, allegedly shows Combs
grabs
assaulting
her,
then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway. A now settled lawsuit filed by Ventura claimed that she was trying to leave the hotel after a drunken Combs punched her. The video appears to show Combs chasing her down the hall, throwing her to the ground, and then repeatedly kicking her. So far, there's been no comment from Combs or his attorney.
And actually, he did give a comment. Let's go ahead. Diddy. IG video. This was his comment.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
And obviously they went crazy on him right after, right? Apology videos almost never do well, unfortunately. You know, I mean, hey, I get it. You know, shit happens. Obviously, doing that is ridiculous. You should never put your hands on a female. I don't even, hell, you guys have seen me where girls have put hands on me on the show, and I still don't do nothing. You know, that's just the world that we're in, man. Like, it is what it is. I get the girls to fight for me. So, no, but all jokes aside, yeah, I mean, and guys, this is what happens, right, with, you know, alcohol, substance abuse. You know, I tell you guys all the time, I don't drink. You know, I might drink. Okay, so last time I drank was when we had the yacht party. And then prior to that, the yacht party, when did we have that? A couple months ago? Prior to that, last time I consumed booze was January of the year prior. So like almost 18 months. And that was for our 1 million subscriber party. So, you know, for me, it's rare, right? And I tell you guys, right, like, don't make the occasion to drink for the occasion. And I really want you guys to, like, take that in, because I know some of y'all are like, man, I got to party, I got to live life a little bit. Cool, you got to live life a little bit. Don't drink all the time, right? And you guys got to understand, like, Diddy partied a lot, right? They know about his parties, the drug use, the alcohol. You do dumb shit, right? And look what he just did on camera, right? And that was on camera. He's abusing his girlfriend, drunk as hell. It clouds your judgment, and you make mistakes that you can't come back from. So, you know, not to be on my moral high ground here or whatever, but this is what drugs and alcohol does to you guys. I've never done a drug in my life. That's why I tell you guys not to do drugs. It's not fucking worth it. And then booze is literally the devil, man. It really is. That's why if I am going to do it, it's going to be rare. It's going to be with friends. It's going to be trustful people, having a good time, celebrating something. I'm still not going to get fucking inebriated. But yeah. But in general, man, your boy Myron, I don't drink, bro. I think since like 2021, I've maybe drank 3 or 4 times, if that. So it's really not worth it, guys. So obviously that was the explosive lawsuit that kicked us all off. Then he gets sued by this guy, okay? Lil Rod. Right now, Lil Rod right here. Let me get him up real fast. Lil Rod, boom. So this is him. We got, okay, I guess this is an Instagram. Do they not have a... Okay, we'll read the article. How Lil Rod's Diddy lawsuit went from a GoFundMe to a $30 million scandal. For years, it was a mere hands-off remarks heard across certain corners of the music and fashion industry, specifically the hip-hop and sportswear spaces where Sean Diddy Combs emerged in the mid-'90s and for a while seemed to own the rumors of his excesses and tactics would bubble to the surface in a tweet or radio show revelation. But what seemed implausible about such a high-profile player has now materialized into headline-making allegations involving sex-trafficking, minors, sexual misconduct, forced druggings, and compromising footage of celebrities held as blackmail. Since November, there have been 5 lawsuits leveled against the rapper-turned-mogul, who is now at the center of a federal investigation. We're going to talk about the federal investigation, too. We're keeping it civil first, guys. One bombshell lawsuit that will, at bare minimum, mangle Diddy's career came from a young man who was welcomed into his inner circle and, according to the producer, exited the mogul's milieu as he was allegedly groomed, abused, and exploited. He also claims the nearly billionaire Combs stiffed him on payment, publishing shares, and royalties. Okay. In 2022, Rodney Jones Jr., musician and producer known as Lil Rod, was hired by Combs to work on what would become his 2023 album, The Love Album, Off the Grid, Diddy's first studio record since 2006. Jones had segued into hip-hop production from early gospel work in Chicago. He grew up playing music with his local church, sitting behind the drum kit from the age of 5. By 13 years old, he was recording in studios in front of a piano or on the bass guitar, which became his specialty, as he told the Death of Cloud Chasers TV in an interview. By 18, Jones had performed on 30-plus albums. By 20, he had moved towards R&B and hip-hop. Oh, sorry, guys. R&B and hip-hop studio sessions. Soon enough, his resume featured credits on tracks by Jack Harlow, Mary J. Blige, and T-Pain. In interviews about his work, Jones' passion for music production and artistry is apparent. I love the whole creative process. I just love it. Jones told the outlet when asked about the joys of being an artist. The best thing that ever could have happened to me was having a fall and getting back up. Look, whenever I lose, I try to figure out why did I lose and how can I strengthen, and also what was the message.
So Jones' complaints state that he was ultimately credited with producing 9 tracks of the album, the fruit of the 14 months ending in November 2023, spent working with Combs in the studio. The album features a vast list of A-list guest stars. One would expect from a top industry player's big return. Over the year plus he spent helping make it, the artist and producer developed an unconventional relationship. Jones was living and traveling with the rapper, but also became his videographer in a day-to-day, wading into the jet inner circle of one of the music business's biggest names. What happened over these months now? Oh, God damn it. Sorry, guys. Let me get rid of these goddamn advertisements. Okay, let me make this a bit bigger. Okay, what happened over these months and how it led to a high-profile FBI raid. No, it wasn't a high-profile FBI raid. Hollywood Reporter. Well, you guys know better than that. Being on Fed Reacts, you know it's not a fucking FBI raid. It wasn't FBI at all, but people are fucking stupid. Stupid. And they don't know shit. We're going to talk about that, though. On Diddy's properties is at the center of the lawsuit's accusations. The raid was called a gross overuse of military level force by Diddy's attorney, Aaron Jones. Jones' case was filed on February 26th in New York federal court, and he seeks $30 million in restitution. In a lengthy filing, Jones levels damaging allegations against Diddy, saying, God damn it, see, I can't even highlight it, saying that while working with him, he was sexually assaulted, allegedly forced by Combs to engage in sex acts made to solicit sex workers, drugged, humiliated, and says he was repeatedly groped on his anus and genitals while in Diddy's orbit. Jones also claims he's being cheated out of over $50,000 for his work on Combs' album, and among his many allegations and accounts of troubling situations, the filing also states that his life has been detrimentally impacted ever since he traveled with Combs back and forth to the mogul's homes in Los Angeles, New York, Florida, and to his yacht in the U.S. Virgin Islands. While under an implied work agreement, the mogul has also threatened the producer for more than a year, he says. And here is the lawsuit, if you guys want to look it up, right? Out in the Southern District of New York. Also, I want to let you guys know that this lawsuit was interesting enough, if you guys look, Southern District of New York, the civil case for Cassie was filed. Southern District of New York, the civil case was for Lil Rod was filed as well, right? And obviously, right, they even have this trigger warning here, and here it is. And there's like pictures of it, right? The defendant, his son, right? These are his people that work for him. Ethiopia. Oh, what's this guy? Lucas guy. Defendant, CEO of defendant of Universal Music Group. Okay, and then we got here, Lucian Ethiopia. Was she former CEO of defendant Motown Records? Okay, and then we got Christina Koran. I think this is his assistant. Yeah, chief of staff. Yep. And then obviously these are different records, right? They talk about who Rodney is. They got pictures and all this shit. Mr. Jones, the child prodigy, right? Summary of events. And then they got more pictures, right? Like, holy crap. So it goes here. Mr. Jones says several corroborating witnesses who spoke with the writer anonymously due to fear of retaliation. Mr. Combs, they haven't agreed to speak publicly when subpoenaed. Mr. Jones has the clothing he wore that day and believes it may still have the stains and DNA of G's blood. The following are screenshots of the aftermath of the restroom where G was shot by either Mr. Combs or J. Combs. Holy. Okay. So let's look here real fast. Man shot outside party at Hollywood recording studio. And this happened September 12th, 2022. Someone was shot. And he's saying that apparently Diddy was involved in this. Right? Okay, let's read through this then. Let's read through this civil case. This not the whole civil case. I want to read the shooting because it's actually very important. And I'm going to tell you guys why this is important here in a second. So on or about September 12, 2022, Mr. Combs held a writers and producers camp at Chalice Recording Studio at 845 Highland Avenue, Los Angeles, California. Present at this camp were Mr. Combs, his son Justin Combs, and Justin's friend named G. Mr. G is a 30-year-old tall African-American male. In addition to these individuals, other musicians were present at the camp. This writer has spoken to several musicians who attended the camp. One evening during this camp, Mr. Combs, J. Combs, and G were in a heated conversation. That conversation was moved out of the studio and into a restroom adjacent to where Mr. Jones was sitting. Mr. Jones was approximately 2 feet away from the bathroom when gunshots rang out. Mr. Jones recalling hearing multiple gunshots. Mr. Jones immediately went into a state of shock and feared that he would be shot next. Mr. Jones genuinely believed that he would be shot through the door due to how close he was. After the shooting ended, a crowd gathered around the restroom. When the door finally opened, Mr. Combs and J. Combs exited. G was lying on the restroom floor in a fetal position, holding his stomach and bleeding out his leg/hip area. Everyone stood around looking upon G. Fresh about the lack of aid to G, Mr. Jones dropped everything, ran to G, and immediately began placing pressure on G's gun wound to his stomach. As he was applying pressure to his stomach, Mr. Jones realized that G was gushing blood from another area near his leg/hip. He decided to lift G up and place him to sit on the toilet. Mr. Jones asked the crowd to call the ambulance. Mr. Jones lifted G and brought him to the ambulance at the studio's front. At this time, Mr. Combs and Justin disappeared to another part of the studio. Mr. Combs gave strict instructions to inform the police that he had nothing to do with the shooting. He also forced Mr. Jones to lie to the police by telling them that G was shot standing outside the studio by a drive-by assailant. Oh, Lord. Here we go. He's using the YNW Melly. He's using the YNW Melly excuse. Why is it always a fucking drive-by, man, with these guys? And then obviously here's the news article. And then Mr. Jones has several corroborating witnesses who spoke with this writer anonymously due to the fear of retaliation, etc. And then here's the pictures from the shooting, right? So here's the aftermath. Clearly, G was not shot outside of the studio as Mr. Combs instructed his team to report to law enforcement. Mr. Combs and defendants LR, MR, UMG, and CRS provided private security for the writers' camp at the defendant's CRS. The security was porous and lackluster at best. The fact that either Mr. Combs and J. Combs were allowed to enter CRS with guns and those guns were not confiscated by security is a clear breach of duty by Mr. Combs' defendants LR, MR, and UMG to protect Mr. Jones and the other attendees of his writers' camp. As a result of this shooting, Mr. Jones is severely traumatized. Mr. Jones now suffers from PTSD, severe anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Okay, so now they're going into how he was sexually harassed, assaulted by Mr. Combs, attempted to groom him to engage in gay sex. Let's see, what else here? This is a still, it looks like, from somewhere. Yep. Okay, the writer is in possession. Okay. And obviously it's blurred out. You can't see nothing, which thank God we don't want to see that anyway. Thanksgiving, Mr. Jones is sexually assaulted by young Miami's cousin. And then here's some pictures. Once again, Mr. Jones pushed her off. The following are images of the video of young Miami, her cousin, Mr. Jones, and Mr. Combs. Trafficking and Victims Protection Act. Right. So, yeah, man, he's coming with the receipts. Oh, this booby trap on the river? Oh, this is in Miami. Yeah, you laugh. As part of Mr. Jones' sex worker recruitment tools, Mr. Combs provided Mr. Jones with an exclusive bad boy baseball cap and required him to wear it to booby trap on the river as a signal to any sex worker who approached that Mr. Combs was in town and had sent Mr. Jones to recruit them. Mr. Jones had no desire to visit booby trap on the river. Mr. Jones, yeah, that place sucks, I ain't gonna lie. Had no desire to solicit sex workers from booby trap on the river. Mr. Combs used his power and influence to intimidate and force Mr. Jones into soliciting sex workers from booby trap on the river. As detailed below, Mr. Combs used many tactics to maintain dominion and control over Mr. Jones. And these are some of the girls, I guess, that he got involved with. The following Instagram photos of two of the sex workers that Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to solicit and have sex with at his home in Miami, Florida. And then these are some of the chicks, right? Here's some more. I guess that's one of the girls, right? And then Mr. Combs attempts to pass off Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. Oh, Lord, bro, what the hell? Oh, man. Okay, yeah. So you can see here's Cuba Gooding Jr., right? And then here he is with him. And he's saying, basically, as evidenced by the video of which screenshots are embedded below, Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching, groping, and fondling Mr. Jones' leg, his upper thighs near his groin, and the small of his back near his buttocks and his shoulders. Mr. Jones was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. He rejected his advance, and Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. The following is a screenshot encounter Mr. Cuba Gooding Jr. For some of you guys that are unaware, right, Cuba Gooding Jr., obviously a very accomplished actor. Here he is. Born January 2nd, 1968, is an American actor after his breakthrough role as Trey Styles in Boys in the Hood, famous movie. He won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor playing a football star in Jerry Maguire in 1996. His other notable films include Outbreak, 95, As Good as It Gets, 97, What Dreams May Come, 98, Men of Honor 2000, Pearl Harbor 2001, Rat Race 2001, The Fighting Temptations 2003, Radio 2003, American Gangster 2007, the Tuskegee Airmen 1995, The Butler 2013, and Selma 2014. He voiced Buck the Horse in the animated feature film Home on the Range 2004. For his portrayal of O.J. Simpson, FX drama series The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story 2016, he earned a nomination for the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Limited Series or Movie, and co-starred in the FX series American Horror Story Rowan Act 2016. He played Billy Roberts in the HBO film The Tuskegee Airmen 1995 and Dr. Ben Carson in the TNT film Gifted Hands. Why do I read this, guys? Well, I read this to let you guys know that obviously these are some very high-profile individuals that are named in this lawsuit. You got Diddy, you got Cuba Gooding Jr. It is wild. You got random 304s from Booby Trap on the River. I'm gonna tell Fresh to stop going over there, man. They put pictures of the spot too. That's crazy. They put pictures of this bitch. For some of you guys that are wondering, that is a strip club here in Miami. It's over. It's up north, man. It's by. It's a little bit further up north, but the reason why they call it on the river is because it's right on the Miami River, right? Very popular spot. I don't like it, but a lot of the rappers go there. I've been there maybe 2-3 times in my life. I'm not a fan. You guys, I just hate strip clubs in general, bro. It just brings very low vibrational, low IQ people. Let's see here. Oh, we got a chat from Tri Vision. Let's go. Shout out to you, my friend. I appreciate that. Let's see here. We deserve less. Is it frowned upon to join CastleClub as a female? No. Go ahead and join. We got something that we're going to set up for the ladies as well. I'm going to have probably lady-only Zoom calls, right, to kind of separate it for you guys. But yeah, ladies, go ahead and join the CastleClub. Are still going out to roll out lower prices for CC? We had it. We just ran a discount, bro. We just ran a discount. We're probably not going to do. We're not going to do a monthly discount for the rest of the year. So only thing that you'll be able to do is do the annual. The annual I think right now is $315, which obviously you save $100 by doing the annual. Let's see here. Let me see if there's anything else. Yes, I don't think Diddy is. I said Diddy. I don't think Academics is live, guys. Yeah, he's still not live. So, yeah, it is what it is. He said 9:30 p.m., but hey, the show goes on, man. So anyway, my bad. I got my own stream here. So back to the Lil Rod thing. So then he's talking about the Love album, how he didn't get paid for it. Okay. More pictures threatened. Okay, Mr. Combs used power to intimidate and influence, threaten, and intimidate Mr. Jones, right? He's referring to the Shyne shooting. Obviously, you guys know this is from a long time ago when he got in the shooting in Manhattan with Shyne, which Shyne ended up doing like 10 plus years for this. And you know what? Because I love giving you guys context, you guys know who I'm talking about. Because I don't like talking about people and you guys are like, who the fuck is that? Oh, Shiner, what the fuck? I bet. Here we go, Shyne. Moses Michael Levy Barrow, born Jamal Michael Barrow, best known by his stage name Shyne, November 8th, 1978, is a Belizean rapper, politician, and philanthropist. He's the leader of the opposition in the Belize House of Representatives. He's a politician now, guys. Went from convicted felon to politician. He was a rapper, and he did 10. Let me see if I'm right here. Okay, shooting and trial. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, from 01 to 09. So he got. Okay, he was sentenced in June 1st, 2001 to 10 years in prison without eligibility for parole. So, and as you guys know, New York has very strict gun laws. But there's a bunch of people that said that Diddy actually shot the shot, but Shyne took the heat. Because Diddy got in a altercation with some people in 1999. God damn, bro. And this is back when he was with J-Lo. Oh, man. So, let's see here. So obviously the intimidation, Fahim Muhammad, right, saying that this is the guy that was intimidating him. And then he's saying that people that work with him, what they do. So they aided, abetted, and profited off Sean Combs' Rico enterprise. See? Okay. Right? So as you guys can see here, right, a lot of these crimes occurred a while ago, right? 2016, 90s, early 2000s, all this crap, right? And the only way that they're going to be able to bring some of these crimes together, right? I'll go on the main cam here so Angie could clip this. The only way that they're going to be able to bring these crimes together, guys, is they're going to need to use the Rico Act. And the reason they're going to use the Rico Act is because Rico, you're able to tie all the crimes together, right? Because you identify the criminal organization as a continuing criminal enterprise, okay? So whenever you're able to charge things under Rico, you don't have to worry about statute of limitations because you can articulate, yo, he's been committing these crimes since the 90s and he's been doing it up until now. So all those crimes that normally would have not been able to been used under the, because of statute of limitations can now be used. Now, of course, they have to be crimes that fall under the Rico Act, right? Because there's only certain crimes that fall under it, which we'll go ahead and go over real quick. We'll go ahead and get some education. Rico federal law crimes. So gambling, murder, kidnapping, extortion, arson, robbery, bribery, dealing in obscene matter, or dealing in a controlled substance or listed chemical. Let's see here. Yeah. So 18 U.S.C. 1961, obviously this is RICO. And interestingly enough, you know, this is a crime that was created. Quick little recap on RICO. It was a law that was created in the 1970s, guys, to combat La Cosa Nostra, the mafia. And if you guys haven't already, please go watch my Mafia series where I break down all the mafia families, you know, really educational stuff. I talk about all the crime families. I even go into some of the Florida ones, the Traficantes, etc. But that's all of the conversation. But the point is that the RICO laws were designed to go after the mafia because the mafia was an insulated organization where the bosses, right, were ordering all the hits from the top. And then you had the guys at the lower levels committing all the crimes. But they were never able to wrap these guys up at the top to the crimes because they were just the ones ordering them. So they were almost operating in a compartmentalized fashion to distance themselves from the crime. So what RICO effectively did was it allowed them to charge everyone under the pretense of an illicit business. That's why when you look at RICO's indictments, they always use criminal enterprises. And you know what? I'm on an educational roll right now, giving y'all this sauce. I'm going to go ahead and pull up an example of a RICO indictment for you guys right now. So let's go RICO Tekashi 6ix9ine, right? That's an easy one to pull up. Let's go ahead, because I know that one, I can get that up easy on Wikipedia. Let's see here. Dude. Oh, I said wiki. My bad. Indictment. PDF. Boom. Right? So you go here. This is actually an HSI case as well. Give me ones in the chat if you guys are learning. So here's an example of a RICO indictment, right? And I'm going to pull this up for you guys right now. We're cooking today, boys. So here we go, right? Southern District of New York. Once again, Southern District of New York, as you guys know, I've told you this many times, very aggressive district. They charge a lot of the big cases, right? You can see 6ix9ine is in this as well, right? Daniel Hernandez. Obviously, their main target was Jamel Jones, a.k.a. Mel Murder, because he was the head of the Bloods. But boom, right there, off rip, the enterprise. At all times relevant to this indictment, Jamel Jones, etc., blah, blah, blah. They're going to name them, right? An associate of the Gangsta Bloods 9 Trey or the Enterprise, a criminal organization whose members and associates engaged in, among other activities, acts involving murder, robbery, and narcotics trafficking. 9 Trey operated. And remember, guys, we talked about this. Murder, robbery, and narcotics are crimes that fall under racketeering, okay? So 9 Trey, including its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18, United States Code, Section 1961, right? So this is how they're able to get you on crimes that were past the statute of limitations when they hit you with RICO, because then they're able to say this is a pattern of criminal activity, racketeering activity, and then bam, they're able to bring all those crimes in because it's a criminal enterprise. And that's how these laws were able to topple the mafia, because the RICO laws, you get football numbers. We're talking 20, 30, 40 years, right? Casanova recently got pled guilty, if I'm not mistaken. He's doing like 20, right? And that's pleading guilty. So the high sentences, federal time, you're doing 80, 90% of your time. It incentivizes people to cooperate. And then when people cooperate, what do? They give information on people that are higher than them. That's what 6ix9ine did. That's why he was able to get out so quickly. He provided information on a bunch of guys that were higher than him. Because as you guys can see here, I mean, hell, you can see it right here in the indictment. And I've said this before many times. Look at where 6ix9ine falls in the indictment. Right in the fucking middle, okay? Now, I'll tell you guys why that's important, okay? If you're going to be a criminal, okay? I don't advise it, but if you're going to be a criminal, don't be the top guy, but also don't be the lowest guy. Why do I say that? Because if you're the top guy, you're going to be at the top of the fucking indictment like your boy Jamel Jones, aka Mel Murda, right? Who was the top blood for many years. He's been referred to in rap songs. Jim Jones, right, is tight with this guy, etc., right? You're going to be at the top of the indictment. But you also don't want to be the bottom guy, because as the bottom guy, you don't have enough information that might be helpful to you should you decide to cooperate. But when you're in the middle, like 6ix9ine, right? And I'm not saying this is where he stood in the organization. I just find it funny that he's literally in the middle of the indictment, right? Because I've talked about this before. When you're in the middle, you're in a position where you got people above you and you got people below you. So you're privy to information from both sides. And then 6ix9ine, the reason why he got such a sweet deal, guys, was because he was the financier. And when you're the financier and you're dealing with the money, you automatically have to deal with the top guys as well as the lower guys to some degree, right? So that's going to put you in a beautiful position to be able to provide information on the top dudes and the lower dudes. And that's why 6ix9ine got less time than people like the guy that went ahead and did the shooting for him on Chief Keef. I forget his goddamn name. What was his name? Kuda B. He went ahead and told him $10,000 to go shoot at Chief Keef. And that dude got more time than 6ix9ine. But why is that? Even though 6ix9ine was in a managerial role above him. It's because 6ix9ine was able to provide information on all these guys above him and guys below him, and they ended up getting a way sweeter deal. So if you're going to be a criminal, guys, be the financier and have all the information so that you can go ahead and inform on everybody and get your way out like 6ix9ine did, okay? And don't have a criminal history, all right? Don DeMarco for y'all. You want to be a snitch, that's how you do it, all right? Give me ones in the chat if you guys are learning. Give me ones in the chat if you guys are learning. About hierarchies, criminal stuff, Ricos, etc. And we're going to get back to this Diddy thing here in a second, but I really want you guys to understand. Give me ones if you guys understand Rico, okay? Give me ones in the chat if you guys understand Rico and understand the way that it works now and how it will be used or not be used in to pull crimes from a statute of limitations perspective. Perfect. Cool. All right. So it's making sense for y'all? All right, cool. Perfect. Okay. So now that you guys know what RICO is and you guys know that they charge it as an organization, you can see it right here. They put it in the fucking lawsuit, which this is a civil case, by the way. Guys, this is not even a criminal case. This is a civil case. But again, this is going to be used later on, right, to establish that Diddy has a criminal organization where he's shooting at motherfuckers, running away, telling people, hey, if you don't, follow what I say, you're going to have to deal with consequences, grooming, sex trafficking, etc. Because the sex trafficking, guys, can occur when you're moving people interstate, okay? This is how this is how R.Kelly got jammed up. And by the way, the same prosecutors are going after Diddy are the same ones that worked on the R.Kelly case, FYI. And they charged R.Kelly, if I'm not mistaken, under the Rico Act as well, because his crimes occurred a long time too. Let me see here. Let's see. R.Kelly indictment PDF. Is this a special one? No, hold on. Because he got indicted a few times. What the hell? Bruh. All right, whatever. You guys get the point. So, so why do I say all this? Okay, so the Cassie lawsuit and the Lil Rod lawsuit basically put a shining light, guys, on Diddy's nefarious activities, okay? His nefarious, sexual activities, violence, etc., okay? So I brought it to light. And when you bring things to light, guess what ends up happening? You start to get the attention FBI, open up! Of the feds, right? Especially if you're a big artist and they could get a little bit of clout off of indicting you, right? So next thing you know, boom, he gets raided, right? Who raided him? Well, HSI, guys. This is the agency that I used to work for, actually. Homeland Security Investigations, all right? Ended up raiding him. This was when? 3 months ago, March 26, on or about March 26, 2024, right? So you guys can see here.
Again, we are seeing Department of Homeland Security investigators doing a search of this home. Now
they're lagging like crazy.
Let's go to Haley Winslow, who's live on the ground right there. Haley, what do we know?
And this is when it first broke out.
Sandra, this is going to turn into a huge scene that is going to be an all-day thing, and it involves, yes, P. Diddy. The home is actually registered to Bad Boy Films, which is a division of Bad Boy Entertainment, basically his company, and the home's registered to that and to his daughter. Now, from Sky Fox, Stu up there, he got some shots of a few people coming out of the home. Those people have been detained. Now, we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the crime scene tape came up. So we're just down the hill. If you look up this street where Tony is right now to the right, you'll see one of those Bearcats and law enforcement. And on the other side of those bushes, basically, is that home that is registered to Bad Boy Films, which is part of Bad Boy Entertainment. And the home in particular is registered not only to Bad Boy Films, but to one of P. Diddy's daughters. Now, we are hearing from law enforcement sources that this involves sex trafficking, but we don't yet know to what extent or the details about that. But you better believe we will be on this all day, keeping you updated with the very latest. We're now reporting live here on the scene in Holmby Hills. I'm Haley Winslow, Fox 11 News.
Haley, thank you. And you can see from that ground shot a very active scene right there, a perimeter put up already.
Nope, just these the guys on the ground down there, the heavily armed officers that made their way inside. They actually are kind of just milling about or holding the perimeter, as it would be. The non-essential, you can see them making their way back over to these armored vehicles, probably doing a little debrief about what they saw. In any type of these situations, it really is, you know, you've got these armored officers that go in first, but I would venture to say the investigators or the people that know what they're looking for probably still out there on the streets, and they're waiting for that all clear to make sure that there is absolutely nobody on this property. And again, this is just a precaution. They don't want to have any kind of issues. Maybe somebody's hiding still, maybe just scared. And it, you know, doesn't have to be nefarious, and just because they don't know what's going on, and they just don't want to have somebody pop out of a closet or a bathroom or any one of these rooms while they're doing that investigation, and then other problems can ensue. So that's basically why we're seeing that large presence. They keep walking through there, and like you mentioned, this is an extremely large home, and probably with many rooms and little secret areas. So they want to make sure that everything is cleared before they allow those investigators in to start doing that investigation, whatever it is that they're looking for. But you can see a number of those officers making their way back into that major, this is the big main house, as it would be, making their way back inside. And I would venture to say that they're going to just go through every one of those rooms and make sure that there is nobody in there. I don't think they're those guys that we're seeing, guys and gals that we're seeing in those heavily armored gear and equipment, I don't think they're actually searching for any items that could connect whatever the investigation is. I would venture to say that those are going to be the guys that you're seeing right there, and they're waiting for that all clear. And then this group that you see there, those are the ones that are actually going to go inside. They probably have, like you said, they probably have ideas what they're looking for, where they might be. So, but right now, it is still a waiting game to make sure that everybody is out of this building and that it is secure.
So, as you can see, obviously, huge presence. They're searching his house, etc. Big deal. And just so you guys know, and sorry about that, guys. I know there's a little bit of confusion for YouTube right now. So what I did was I went ahead and like deleted the other video, and we got this current video up right now. So sorry about that. So we should be good now. Actually, matter of fact, I had the wrong chat the whole time. while I was live, so I'm gonna fix that real quick. But yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually pull up. Chat, do you guys want me to show you an example of a search warrant? Give me ones if you guys want me to give you an example of a search warrant. Twos if you guys don't want me to. I said I'm trying to make this a more educational show. Show you guys stuff that other people aren't necessarily showing you. So let me know if y'all want me to do that. Sweet. All right. Looks like there's mostly ones. Or twos if you guys don't want me to. Sorry, two if you don't want me to. Okay, here's one. So, okay, this is the Trump warrant, okay? I've actually broken this one down, but we're not going to read the entire thing, but I'm just going to show you guys what goes into a search warrant, okay? So, obviously this is, let's see here. Okay, let's break this thing down. Okay, so here's the attorney that signed off on it, right? Here's a search and seizure warrant, right? This is what you're going to like leave at the house. This is August 19, 2022. This is the judge, Bruce Reinhardt, U.S. Magistrate Judge, West Palm Beach, Florida, August 5th, 2022. This is when he signed it, okay? And then they're going to go, they put here, okay, identify the person to describe the property to be searched and given its location. It says see attachment A, okay? So keep that in mind. There's an attachment A. And then I find that affidavits or any recorded testimony establish probable cause to search and seize the personal property described above, attachment B, okay? So attachment A, guys, describes the person or property to be searched. Attachment B is the affidavit, okay? So here's attachment A, property to be searched. The premises to be searched, 1100 Ocean Boulevard, Palm Beach, Florida, blah, blah, blah. Further described resort club, residence, etc., right? This is what's going to be searched, right? Then attachment B, one day I'm going to pull out one of my search warrants for you guys from back in the day because I used to write these. I've written hundreds of these things. Now, this is the attachment B, property be searched, right? What it is, right? Property be seized, right? This is the property be searched, attachment A. Attachment B is property be seized, what they're going to take. Any physical documents or classification markings along with containers, boxes, etc. If you guys remember, this was the classified documents case from Trump, right? So obviously they're going to put here what they want. Information, including communication in any form regarding the retrieval, storage, or transmission, national defense information. Remember, they were looking for classified documents, right? So they're going to put here what they're looking for. So in Diddy's case, more than likely, if I was to estimate what was in that search warrant, hey, we're looking for surveillance footage, we're looking for documents, we're looking for bank records that might show him paying people off, etc., right? Now, this is a receipt for property. This is what they took, right? This is the FBI. Now, this is a agency type thing. So this is a receipt of what they took. Right? Boxes, etc. These are the agents' names, right? More receipt for property, right? So the attorney signs for it. So the agents take it and they're like, okay, look, I'm doing this in your witness. Here's the receipt. Boom. This is what we took from you, right? And these are Trump's attorneys that signed for it. Christina Bolob, right? Oh, what the fuck? Where's the affidavit? Can we not find the affidavit? Trump affidavit. Nope. Okay. And then this is the affidavit. This is attachment C, guys, attachment C. So A is what's to be searched, B is what is to be searched, B is what is to be taken, right? And then attachment C is the affidavit with all the facts. So in this case, here's the, like I told you guys before, whether it's a criminal complaint or a search warrant, here we go. Introduction, agent background. My name is XYZ. I'm from the FBI. This is what I do. And then they go into the facts. Source of evidence, statutory authority and definitions, why they can do this, right? 793, right, which is the Espionage Act, right? And then they go into the probable cause, right? How the case started, narrow referral, right? And then they just, boom, go into all the facts here, right? A lot of this affidavit is redacted, by the way, because they definitely have informants, right? They definitely have informants. So yeah. So now you guys know what it is, right? So you got the warrant, right? So part one is this is the warrant. This is the actual document that the judge signs, right? That's on top of everything. So search warrant on top, attachment A, which is the property to be searched, then attachment B, property to be seized, and then attachment C, the affidavit that outlines all the facts. Give me ones in the chat if that makes sense for you guys and you learned something. Give me twos if it doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, tell me why it doesn't make sense. But we're going deep in the woods here with the sauce. Yes, attachment C is the affidavit. Now, I'm bringing this affidavit back up because I want you guys to see all the probable cause that goes into, okay, someone said too technical, kind of too technical, but cool. That's fine. I'll take too technical. Right? Look at all the probable cause, right? We're on paragraph 24. We end up going all the way down to paragraph 82, pretty much. Excuse me, 79, right? So why do I say all this? I say this to tell you guys, it is not easy to get a federal search warrant, guys. And not only is it not easy, because here's the process of what it takes to get a search warrant. As someone who's written hundreds of these, this is how it goes. Step one, you're gonna call the AUSA, the federal prosecutor, you're gonna say, yo, I wanna get a search warrant. I have XYZ reason to believe. AUSA is gonna say, okay, what do you got? What's your probable cause? You tell your AUSA your probable cause. Then they're gonna tell you, that's enough. Or they're gonna say, it's not enough. Or they're gonna say, okay, we need to beef it up a little bit because a search warrant for a home, guys, is very difficult to get. Why is it difficult to get? Because according to the Fourth Amendment, guys, the home is at the top, okay? And for all my non-American viewers, let's go real quick with what the Fourth Amendment is, okay? What is the Fourth Amendment, guys? The Fourth Amendment protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures by the government, okay? So we're going to read it officially. No, not in simple terms. I want it like, no, not the Fifth Amendment. The rights of the people, right? This is directly from the Constitution. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Guys, that is why attachment A, attachment B, and attachment C are so critical. The place to be searched, what's to be seized, and the affidavit supporting why you need to go there, okay? So you contact the AUSA, the federal prosecutor, right? Hey, go to main cam here. You contact the AUSA, Assistant United States Attorney, right? This is how you get a federal warrant. Hey, I want to search XYZ house. Okay, what's your facts? I got an informant that tells me this, I got that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool, write it up. Now, depending on where you are, some AUSAs write the search warrant for you. Me, I wrote all my own warrants. I'm not having no fucking, hey, that's an insult. I'll write my own goddamn warrants, okay? I write the affidavit part, send it to AUSA, they make their corrections, blah, 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 right? Because obviously it needs to fit certain legal parameters. Then he sends it up to the USA, United States Attorney, all the way up to which is a presidentially appointed position, right, if I'm not mistaken, the USA. Then he approves it. Then they send it to the judge. Once the judge gets it, the judge reads it. Then the judge, if he feels there's enough probable cause, he'll sign it. And then you'll be there. Hey, is everything here true and correct to the best of your knowledge, so help you God, right? And you have your right hand in, and he's obviously he swears you in. Yes, it is. You sign the affidavit. He signs the warrant. Boom. You're ready to go. You go hit the house, right? But it's not easy to get a federal search warrant, guys, because like I said before, the Fourth Amendment, which I have here, right, is to protect people in their house, papers, and effects. The house is at the pinnacle of the Fourth Amendment. It's designed precisely to protect your home, the most important one, right? You don't need as much probable cause to go through, you know, someone's watershed as you would for their home, right? Or their phone even, right? Because the home is considered the most sacred place. You know, it's considered your castle. So I say all this to say that that is why I know for a fact that HSI got a warrant for his house. They got some fucking probable cause. And guess where that probable cause came from? It came from Cassie, guaranteed, right? She definitely cooperating with them. And it definitely came from your boy, Lil Rod, right? This dude. Wait, where's he at? This dude right here, right? Guaranteed, right? And on top of other people as well, which we're going to talk about here in a second. All right? So, obviously, they went ahead and raided the house. We all know what HSI is. I think I've explained this plenty of times. The agency I used to work for, they do investigate sex trafficking. That is one of the crimes that they investigate. Matter of fact, they also did the R.Kelly case, by the way. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was either the HSI New York or HSI Chicago office that led that investigation. So yeah. And then obviously you guys can see, right, they went out there, HRT team, etc. They all went out there. They changed their vests. Their vests are no longer, this is what an old HSI, this is what, see, they changed it to look more like the FBI. This is what the old vest used to look like, guys. This is what my vest used to look like. Right? Here, let me put this shit on camera for y'all ninjas. This is what my old shit used to look like. Right? This is just a carrier, by the way. This is an actual vest. This is my old carrier. So, anyway. Good times, good times. So, but yeah, you guys can see here in this video that they switched it to look more like the FBI vest with the green. Because if you go on here on their website, let me see here. They changed up the website, man. That's good. Because the website before was trash, man. I'm glad that they're fucking finally improving their shit. What is this? Was it under careers? How to apply, maybe? Where the fuck was it? Maybe special hiring. Was it this? No. HSI Academy? No, that's not what it is. Yeah. I can't find it. Someone had the picture of it. Our priorities, maybe? All right, whatever. Anyway, you guys know what it is. So, yeah, this is what they were doing. So, obviously, they did the raid. It's been a few months now. So, quick updates. They have convened the grand jury, guys, okay? And what does that mean when they convene the grand jury? What that means is they had the grand jury meet. They had the grand jury meet, which is basically, just like a regular jury, but this one is for the purposes of finding probable cause versus finding someone guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. They had the grand jury meet, and the grand jury convenes, and they hear witness testimony, okay? So people have been coming forward testifying, okay, about their run-ins with Diddy or the crimes they may have witnessed, okay? So that's not good for Diddy, because what that means is that there are witnesses coming forward, and that is all doing what? Establishing probable cause. Once probable cause is established, an indictment is going to come, all right? So we will go ahead and react to this video from Law&Crime Network, shout out to them, where they're talking about this as grand jury probe confirmed as new lawsuit emerges. Okay, and this came out 2 days ago. And just so you guys know, I first got news that they convened their grand jury about a month ago, that they had their first grand jury meeting, and they've been doing it since, right, to bring witnesses in and hear their testimony. Give me ones in the chat if I explain the grand jury process for you guys and that makes sense. Give me ones. If it doesn't make sense, give me twos and tell me why it doesn't make sense. I'm going to make sure you guys understand everything before we continue on. And I know some of you guys might get annoyed. Oh, bro, why do you keep asking? It's because I want you guys to really learn this shit, understand this shit, so you guys are able to look at stuff critically and understand what the fuck is really going on. Okay, if you're going to say 2, tell me why you don't understand. Don't just say explain, please. Explain what? Okay, what's the difference between a grand jury and a regular jury? Good question. So a regular jury, guys, is you're going to trial, you're fighting the case, they do voir dire, they get a jury out, the jury's going to hear the case. You know, jury of 12, right? So they're going to hear the case. And that is specifically for that criminal case. A grand jury is a group of people that hear criminal cases, okay? They hear criminal cases, and they're just establishing probable cause, okay? Finding someone guilty beyond a reasonable doubt is all the way up here. Finding probable cause is down here, guys, okay? So the thresholds are completely different. Grand jury is just finding probable cause, right, which is run by an AUSA. They present the facts, and remember, you're only hearing the prosecution side, okay? The jury is hearing both the defense and the prosecution, and it's a trial, all right? Let's see here. Yeah, and that's where the term "you can indict a ham sandwich" comes from, because you only hear no, there's federal and state grand juries, by the way, guys. So let's see here. Yeah, grand jury decides if there's enough to arrest. Exactly. We don't know the actual charges yet, Mr. 707, but we do suspect that it's going to be. I suspect it's going to be Rico hit with Rico, and then sex trafficking crimes underneath that is what I suspect. So Myron, to get to a grand jury to give you a trial is very easy. No, it's not. No, because the AUSA's got to run the grand jury procedure. They convene the grand jury, and then the agent comes in and testifies, or the witnesses come in and testify for the government, right? Sometimes the defense testifies, but they never say anything. They typically take the fifth. So if they're subpoenaed to testify in front of the grand jury, a lot of times they're going to say, "I'm not saying shit," and take the fifth, because obviously they have a right to not incriminate themselves. So, let's see here. So yeah, that's the difference between a grand jury and a regular jury. So does that make sense, guys? Give me ones in the chat if this all makes sense. Grand jury, the process, bringing witnesses in, because this is important for you guys to understand so that we can get into this video here. Hearsay is allowed in grand jury, guys. Hearsay is allowed, but hearsay is not allowed in trials. So again, remember, grand jury is just probable cause. Jury trial is up here, because now it's beyond a reasonable doubt. This is just probable cause. Grand jury, probable cause, low threshold. Jury trial, reasonable doubt. Beyond a reasonable doubt, excuse me, way higher. Young here, the reason why you only hear the prosecution in the grand jury is because the prosecution is the one bringing the case forward, so the burden of performance is on them to bring the facts. And then they could call defense witnesses in, but no, I mean, bro, whenever they do that, they just say, "I'm not talking." So the defense never says shit. Okay. Yes, hearsay is allowed in grand jury, guys. Hearsay is absolutely allowed in grand jury. It's allowed in search warrants, etc. I mean, look. You guys, just so you guys understand, hearsay is allowed in, for example, let's go Trump search warrant, right? Like all these facts, guys, is hearsay. All this probable cause comes from informants. That's hearsay information, guys, right? It's coming, matter of fact, hold on. Hold on one second. You know what? Let me do this even better. Let's go with Sarnayev criminal complaint. Right? This is a Boston Marathon bomber, right? Okay. So right here, what does this say, guys? This affidavit is based upon my personal involvement in this investigation, my training, my experience, my review of relevant evidence, and information supplied to me by other law enforcement officers. It does not include each and every fact known to me about the investigation, but rather only those facts that I believe are sufficient to establish requisite probable cause. So what does that mean, guys? Hearsay is allowed when you're establishing probable cause, but it is not allowed in a trial. Okay? So, cool. Give me one second to check if that makes sense, and then we're going to move on to the video that we're going to play. This is a very informative episode, by the way. We got, what, 4,000 ninjas in here watching? 2,800 on Rumble, and then 1,800 on YouTube. Shout out to all you guys. Guys, CastleClub.tv if you want to support the mission. As you guys know, we are demonetized, so I'm doing this for absolutely free because I enjoy educating you guys and teaching you guys this stuff. So if you guys really want to support, CastleClub.tv is the best way to support so that we can keep the mission going. Because I'm telling y'all, man, FedReacts is not monetized whatsoever. I actually lose money doing this. I'm working for free right now. But I think it's important to give you guys this info, educate you guys, give you guys a different perspective, because ain't nobody else on YouTube ran as much search warrants as I have or has this kind of knowledge. So CastleClub.tv, guys, go support the mission. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this video from Law and Crime. It's 30 minutes long. We're not going to watch the whole thing, and we're going to play it on faster speed. But yes, P.Diddy Grand Jury probe confirmed as lawsuit emerges. And we've known this, that they've been gathering a grand jury for a bit, but it seems that they've been doing multiple meetings.
Diddy Combs is now the subject of a federal criminal investigation, and he was just hit with another lawsuit, and he's planning to sell his massive mansion. Well, we're going to discuss some massive new developments in the ongoing legal saga of the music producer, all with renowned celebrity attorney Bradford Cohen. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, there are some more interesting things happening right now in the Sean Diddy Combs story that we want to talk to you about. Is it that, I don't know, Combs is reportedly now the subject of a federal investigation? Or how about the fact that there's a new...
Well, we've known that since they did the search warrant. Feds aren't going to do a search warrant in your house unless they have a case open and there's an investigation going. And the fact that they were able to even do the search warrant tells me that they had informants inside the house that gave them real-time information, which is why they were able to get the probable cause to even go in there.
Lawsuit that has been filed against the rapper, or that it's being reported he's trying to sell his house for $70 million in the middle of all this, or how about the fact that a key figure...
Yes, there's been rumors, guys, that Diddy has been trying to sell a lot of his assets and become liquid because he has a legal team on the criminal side as well as a legal team handling all the civil cases. As you guys know, he's involved in like 5+ lawsuits, okay? So he is liquidating a lot of his positions and being cash heavy right now so he can go ahead and defend himself.
Seemingly wants to testify against him. Obviously, a lot to talk about. We're going to get into it all. But this is an interesting time for Sean Diddy Combs, and we have discussed this extensively here on Sidebar. He's currently facing multiple lawsuits since November 2023 alleging sexual...
Someone said that he's broke. Diddy is not broke, guys. Diddy is not broke. He's, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a billionaire, man, guys. Let's see here. Yeah, about $1 billion. So it's probably more. It's probably more. I've realized that this stuff is a lot of times inaccurate. It's probably more.
Here, I want to start with what I think is arguably one of the biggest developments, and that is that it's being reported that Sean Combs' attorneys were notified last week that he is the subject of that federal investigation by the Southern District of New York.
I mean, come on. I mean, there's a bear in the woods. Of course he's a subject of the criminal investigation, and the feds told him that. Because obviously they did a search warrant in his house. They're not going to do a search warrant in his house, and I know this because I used to work for HSI. I'll tell y'all this right now. You're not doing no fucking search warrant on a house unless you got a case number open, you got some reports written, you coordinating with the AUSA, you got a couple of informants. Come on, man. Come on. I used to do this shit for real. So no. Of course he's the fucking target of the investigation. The case, I guarantee you, the fucking case is probably called P.Diddy et al. Let's fucking go. Come on, man. I mean, we got the fucking case number. Bro, hold on. Hold on, ninjas. Look. This is why I'm the best. Nobody can stop me at this. Look at this shit, man. Right? You go, let's go. Fed reacts, right? You go to my older video. right? You're going to go in here. Where is it? No, not national security. Right? You go into Diddy, right? Here, I put timestamps for y'all ninjas too. I'm trying to find the case number here. Am I? Right? Boom. So I went ahead and zoomed in on the picture for y'all. Look, I got the case number here. 15 means trafficking, right? This is an evidence seizure bag, by the way, right? And then HQ, which means that the case came from headquarters, fiscal year, and then 0001. But if I'm not mistaken, this was a New York case originally. So 15 is the code for human trafficking. So come on, man. I can't be stopped. You're not going to do a fucking search warrant on a house unless you got a case open. Period. All right? You got a case open. You got an AUSA on board. You're going after someone high profile like this. You absolutely, have the office involved. Everybody knows in the office what you're doing, right? So, like, bro, the Fed say, yeah, he's the subject of investigation. Come on, man. Come on, dude. Yeah, there's a bear shit in the fucking woods. Of course he's a subject of investigation because they're not going to waste their fucking time and convene a grand jury and go through all the stuff that they've done and write search warrants, etc. I mean, they already got a case number. So, yeah, it's man. And you're not opening a case with the feds. This isn't like regular police. Let me make this very clear for you guys. So, when the regular police, right, let's say you call the police. Oh, someone, stole my dog's leash. Okay, all right. They sit there and they write their fucking thing. And you say, can I have a case number? Yeah, they'll generate some bullshit case number for your missing leash. The feds aren't generating case numbers for no reason, guys. They're not generating a case number for your dog leash. When they're generating a case number, they're trying to come and arrest you and take all your money. All right? They don't open cases for nothing.
What does it mean to be the subject of a federal criminal investigation?
So there's several levels to federal criminal investigations. One of them is being a subject. That means that
this guy's an entertainment attorney. Let's see what he knows.
They're looking into criminal allegations against an individual, but it's not as high level as, say, a target. A target is essentially, they're very close to getting an indictment. They're going to get an indictment, and they invite you to come in to speak to them before they get the indictment or to work out a deal before they arrest you. When you know that you're a target, and they don't necessarily always tell people, hey, you're a target or a subject. They usually send those letters out to see if they want to come in and cooperate or they have.
Yes, that is true. They're only going to give you a target letter or whatever else like that, right? Or hit you with the information. Remember, guys, I explained to you guys what information is with Julian Assange last week. They're going to give you a target letter or an information if they have an idea that you're going to cooperate or you're not at the top of the totem pole. They're saying that because they don't want to disclose that he's the target right away. But he is, dude. He is. They searched his house. He's obviously the main person in all the lawsuits. And guess what? In all these lawsuits, these people are absolutely cooperating with the feds as well on the criminal case. And all that information in these civil lawsuits can be used in the federal criminal case.
Have any evidence they want to present or they want to have a discussion. I think the fact that they sent the letter saying that he's a subject, I think they already knew that. Once your house gets raided by the feds, you are either a subject or a target, more likely a target than a subject. It's
definitely a target, bro.
Interesting that they sent out this letter saying that he's a subject, but I think that his lawyers are already speaking to the Southern District of New York and they know kind of what's going on and that there's a federal.
They absolutely know. And as a matter of fact, I was talking with Diddy about this. Not Diddy. I was talking with academics about this. His lawyers, guys, are disclosing to the feds when he travels. Okay? Like literally, if he's getting on a plane and traveling, etc., and that's a part of the reason why he's selling, I think he's selling the LA home. That's another reason why he's selling that home, so that he can be in one location where they can find him at all times. And I know why he's doing this. He's doing this, very smart guy. They know an indictment is coming. They know. I told you guys this before. I predicted it by the end of this year, or at the absolute latest, maybe early 2025, there's going to be a federal indictment on Diddy and a bunch of his co-conspirators. However, Diddy, right, being the smart guy that he is, he knows that these charges are, his legal team knows that these charges are probably going to be pretty serious. Human trafficking, etc., these types of charges, you normally don't get bond for them, guys. However, if Diddy is able to display, look, we're cooperating with you guys from the beginning. We've been notifying you guys every time he travels for business. We're letting you guys know what he's doing. We're obviously giving you guys courtesy calls, etc. What are they establishing by this? They're saying, look, he's not a danger to society. He's traveling for work. He's cooperating fully. He's not a flight risk. Most importantly, he's not a fucking flight risk, okay? Then, when he does get indicted, and he does have to go there for his initial appearance, what his attorneys are going to go ahead and try to negotiate, which I guarantee this is going to happen, they're going to say, look, we've cooperated with you before. We knew that this indictment was coming. Look, our client is going to surrender. Please don't knock the door down. Please don't make it a media spectacle. Don't come in with the raid teams and all this other shit. Not like this, right?
Already speaking to the Southern District of New York, and they know kind of more likely a target than.
They don't want this shit again, right? They don't want the HRT coming in, which, I said HRT. Yeah, SRT, right? Special Response Team. They don't want them to come in, right? They don't want Homeland Security, like the SWAT, to come in. They want to just, go ahead, surrender willingly, go into the office, not make him getting taken out in cuffs or none of that stuff, because it's bad for image perspectives. Remember, guys, Diddy is an A-list celebrity, okay? World known, A-list celebrity. When you're an A-list celebrity, you got to go ahead and make sure that your image is of a certain way. Obviously, this is already a black eye on his image, but it would be worse for him to be in handcuffs. You know how many fucking, paparazzi are going to be out there trying to get an image of him in handcuffs? They don't want that. So they're positioning right now. Look, we know he's going to get indicted. Is he a target? Is he a subject? Whatever. He's traveling here. He's traveling there. He's not a flight risk. And they're using this to negotiate. Please, when he's indicted, let us know. He will self-surrender. And we're going to push to get him out on bond. Now, why is this important? Because, guys, if he's out on bond, he could be out talking with his lawyers. He's not in jail. He could be with his family. He could still work. He can still earn money. It's much easier to fight your case free than from behind bars, obviously. So that's the other thing they're gonna try to push for, is for him to be out on bond. They'll surrender his passport, etc., and he'll be able to get arrested, not go in cuffs, self-surrender, and be out on bond, which is going to be a huge advantage for him versus someone like R.Kelly that, he did spend a considerable amount of time in jail fighting his case, which sucks, right? So Diddy wants to be free while he's out. And here's the other thing, too. He doesn't have to push for a speedy trial. If he doesn't have to push for a speedy trial, the case might take a few years, right? So he's trying to elongate his freedom, right? And I think that's why that's his defense team's strategy, is to cooperate from the beginning, self-surrender. When the bond hearing comes, push to get out on bond, right? The government probably won't object to that because he did cooperate from the beginning, and that's it. Wants to fight the case outside. I think him and his legal team know it's coming, and they're preparing for the worst.
And the subject, it's interesting that they sent out this letter saying that he's a subject, but I think that his lawyers are already speaking to the Southern District of New York, and they know kind of what's going on, and that there's
They definitely are. I got insider information on that. Shout out to academics on that.
a federal indictment that could be on the horizon.
And it can sway. You can be a subject, and it could be upgraded to a target. Do you notify Combs, his legal team, because the idea, as you say, they bring him in, that they want to work out a deal, or is it because, hey, listen, we've been looking at some things, we'd like to give you an opportunity to explain yourself? Is that more what we're looking at?
Yeah, usually the latter. When you're a subject, it's like they're not asking you to come in and give them, a reason to charge you with a lesser crime or things of that nature. That's more of a target. When you're a subject, usually what happens is they're saying, hey, we're looking at these things. Do you have any evidence to give us to the other side of this? And generally, they don't do that a lot. I think they're doing it in this case because it's a high-profile case. They don't want to say they never gave him an opportunity to present any evidence that they could present to a grand jury.
Which he's, obviously he's not going to go in. Fuck no. Like, they're going to ask him questions, etc. He's going to take his Fifth Amendment. Defendants almost never go in a grand jury and present their side because there's no point.
To vitiate these allegations, there's these allegations that he's done X, Y, and Z. If he says, hey, listen,
anything
I wasn't
you
even
say
in the state
can't
of
be used
California
against you guys
at the time this girl said that I was here, or I wasn't in the state of New York at the time the girl said I was here.
Yeah.
That gives them an opportunity to present that, and then the government can take a look at it and see if they're going to, incorporate that into their grand jury testimony.
Very interesting you talk about that, because now I'm wondering about timing, right? It's no surprise, we've talked about it here on Sidebar before, that it wouldn't be a shocker if he's ultimately hit with charges. Not a definite, we don't know for sure. We clearly do not know what's happening behind the scenes, but we see all these lawsuits. We know his houses were raided months ago. We talked about the possibility being reported a grand jury has been impaneled. Does this give you any insight into the potential timing of criminal charges in this case?
Yeah, I mean, listen, after a raid, generally, I say there's like a 90-day period where they meet, they discuss the charges, they go in front of a grand jury, they discuss charges in front of a grand jury, present evidence, present witnesses, and usually there's this 90-day window.
And that's what they've been doing. They've been bringing witnesses in and presenting the evidence, guys. And they've been doing this for at least a month. I had information at least for a month that they've been convening the grand jury for this.
So maybe a 120-day window, but it's usually within anywhere from 3 to 5 months that they put together an indictment, depending on how vast it is.
That's the picture I showed you guys. That's the Miami case number. I actually know this dude right here. I know this guy personally. This is the Miami office that did the raid, so.
And I've seen it closer to 60 days. It just depends on what they're investigating. But I had a client whose house was raided about 45 days ago, and they're asking, hey, do you have any information that can assist us in what charges we think we may file, what charges we may not? So my guess is, if I was just putting money down, I would say towards the end of the summer, I think they're going to have an indictment. I don't see how any evidence that he has is going to sway them to the contrary, especially where they have this grand jury that has been meeting. My guesstimate is for at least 45 days, and they've been providing evidence. They usually don't.
Boley says, Myron, did you see foul play by the feds when you work for them? It seems like they don't like you. They can get you. No, I never did, bro. You guys got to remember at the federal level, man, corruption is a lot less than at like the state and local level. Of course, there's going to still be corrupt pieces of shit, of course. But like planting evidence on people, doing dumb shit like that, like being like a Furman, not that common, man. Not that common. Like it's the feds a lot of times that arrest the corrupt police officers.
Don't waste their time on a grand jury meeting and presenting evidence and then not file any charges whatsoever.
Now, I will say in his defense, right, he is innocent until proven guilty. He hasn't been formally accused by anything. But I will say we've covered a number of cases where his defense team has raised a number of really good legal defenses on the civil front. One of them was that the fact is he's being hit with certain causes of action claims that are invalid, he says, because the statute you're suing me under wasn't even in existence when these allegations happened. So his legal team, well, like you said, it kind of hit me. If he's going to say, I can prove to you I wasn't in this location when I'm accused of doing X, Y, and Z. And by the way, before I get into the lawsuit, it reminds me, how much do they share with him or his attorneys of the potential charges or the case they have against him? They share everything, or do they share just bits and pieces?
So generally speaking, and I've dealt with the Southern District of New York quite a few times, usually they share bits and pieces, if they share anything at all. They'll say, this is what we're looking at, sometimes X, Y, and Z. They might not give you details. I mean, it's not hard to figure out these lawsuits that are coming out in Fast and Furious and the type of incidents that he's had in the past and the type of trouble that he's had in the past. I think it's pretty easy to figure out where they're going with it. And my guess is they're going to put together some sort of very long, encompassing indictment where it encompasses crimes that have taken place over a period of time.
Yep, and they're going to be able to do that and string it together through the Rico Act.
In a sort of ongoing criminal conspiracy type situation.
Look, man, I see guys, I told y'all, I haven't really watched this video like that before, but I'm telling you guys, this is how they do it, especially when you got crimes like this that are beyond statute of limitations.
That's my guess. Again, and like I always say, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. Even if they indict him, he still has the right to a trial. And so long story short is that's usually where it goes. That's kind of my feeling on this case is that they're going to try and incorporate everything they can from his past. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to, prior shootings that he's been accused of, prior gun possessions that he's been accused of. There was some incidences of violence with other rappers that they may say he had some kind of hand in those other incidences. So that's what I think they're going to do is put together an encompassing indictment that throws everything at the wall. So for them to tell him, hey, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're looking at, I don't think that's the case in this matter.
Hey, everybody, I want to take a minute to thank Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's Law and Crime YouTube.
Fuck Morgan & Morgan. We don't know them niggas.
So now I want to get your thoughts and opinion on this major development, another development, and that is that Combs was just hit with another lawsuit. This is now, I think, the 10th lawsuit within the past.
Oh, shit, 10th lawsuit. So another one came in literally like within the last couple days, guys. 10th lawsuit. God damn.
Year. And this one is from former adult film star Adria English, and she filed a 100.
Okay, porn star sued him, so not as credible, but okay.
114-page federal lawsuit in the Southern District of New York. So again, the same district where we're seeing this federal.
Everything is filed in the Southern District of New York, guys. So the AUSA's got a lot of evidence, and guess what? They got a lot of witnesses too. You best believe all 10 of these lawsuit people are cooperating with HSI.
Investigation, reportedly this federal investigation. And she's filed this lawsuit against Sean Combs. She's filed against other defendants, and she's basically making claims of sex trafficking and sexual assault, that she was, quote, used as a sexual pawn for the pleasure and financial benefit of others during Combs' infamous white parties, these parties that happened in the Hamptons in New York and Miami, where everybody dressed up in white attire. And she claims that Combs forced her into prostitution for years. She said that Combs forced her to take drugs before she was, quote, passed off to others. And she claims that she was demanded to have sex, for instance, with celebrity jeweler Jacob the Jeweler Arabo, who is listed as a defendant in this complaint. And she claims that...
Wow. Holy.
Combs threatened to blackmail her and her boyfriend from the entertainment industry if she didn't do what he wanted. Combs' attorney, by the way, Jonathan Davis, released a statement saying, no matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted or sex trafficked anyone. We live in a world where anyone can file a lawsuit for any reason without any proof. Fortunately, a fair and impartial judicial process exists.
This is true.
To find the truth. And Mr. Combs is confident he will prevail against these and other baseless claims in court.
And keep in mind, guys, that, you know, when one lawsuit comes, everyone kind of just comes because, remember, guys, he settled with Cassie in one day. People saw the blood in the water. Let's just sue. Let's get a quick buck off of this. So obviously she's coming now too. So am I saying that everyone's lawsuit is bullshit? No. But there are going to be some bullshit lawsuits in that 10 for sure. You know, this is probably, I'll keep it 1,000 with you. I think there's one of them. I mean, this girl's like a sex worker, man. So whatever. But we'll see what happens.
Now, she is suing under various causes of action, such as violation of the federal racketeering statute, sexual assault, sexual harassment, violation of the New York City Victims of Gender-Motivated Violence Protection Act.
Which they only had a certain amount of time to file those as well.
Violation of Trafficking and Victims Protection Act, aiding and abetting a sex trafficking enterprise, negligent and intentional infliction of emotional distress. It's a massive, massive lawsuit, Bradford. But again, very consistent with the other lawsuits that have been filed. What are your thoughts?
Which obviously, right, this is a perfect opportunity to sue. So anyone who feels like they've been wronged by Diddy is going to come now because he has bigger problems with this federal case. And obviously, I would assume most of his money is going towards his legal defense for that versus dealing with these people, right? And keep in mind, guys, that civil cases, the threshold is way lower. Preponderance of the evidence is only 51% versus 49% if we're going to numerically display it.
You know, when I read some of these lawsuits, it's very hard to differentiate the lawsuits that have value to them and the lawsuits that are being just piggybacked onto everything.
Exactly. Agreed. Because they're all using the same types of facts.
Else. When you read this lawsuit, it seems to me, when I look at the individual that's filing it, and be it right or wrong, the industry that that individual was involved in, and then I look at...
He's being nice about it. When I look at the individual's industry that she was involved in, yeah, she was a porn star, bro.
The allegations and whether or not those allegations would be able to be proven through other individuals. This is one of those lawsuits that I think is a piggyback onto everything else. I think that, and his lawyer is right, when you open up the floodgates, and I say this to my clients quite often, you know, a lot of my clients say, hey, I got hit, you know, this person's threatening me with a lawsuit. If they file this lawsuit, it's total BS. We should fight it, blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, there's a couple different ways to go about this. There's either one way to go about it, even on the BS lawsuits, is to settle it out for, you know, what you would be paying a lawyer, 100 grand. 50 grand, 75 grand, whatever you think that you would be paying a lawyer to answer that complaint. But then you have to look at the things that aren't a cost. When that lawsuit gets filed, are you going to lose, you know, is everyone going to ditch you? Are you going to lose, you know, your Adidas? You're going to lose your Nike sponsorship, all these different sponsors.
That's true. That's true. Them even filing the lawsuit sometimes creates problems, even if it's bullshit.
Sponsorship, so they're just going to walk away from you, not because the lawsuit is true, but because of the allegations in the lawsuit. So those are things to consider. Then, if a lawsuit actually gets filed, you have no choice but to go to war over the lawsuit, because if you settle that lawsuit and you settle it quickly, there's blood in the water and all the sharks come to feed. And that's what you saw with the Diddy lawsuit. He said, no, I'm not going to settle with her. I'm not going to settle with her, which I believe that he should have, especially with Cassie.
You're talking about Cassandra Ventura. He settled that lawsuit the day after it was filed back.
It's on point.
In November of 2023.
Which was just idiotic at that point, because you don't settle it the day after it gets filed. At that point, you're at war. And really, if you settle something within a day of filing, it signals to all the wolves that I am weak and it's now the time to attack. And that's what you saw. You saw a lot of lawsuits being filed. Some of them were just outrageously fantastical in terms of the accusation.
Got a chat here from Bowley. He says, Myron, since the feds have a high rate of success, do you recommend copping a plea? Yeah, bro. You're going to lose most of the time if you try to fight the feds. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Some of them could be true. Some of them might not be true. We just don't know, right, until you get into the heart of it. But I think that opened the floodgates to allow everyone else to start suing him. And I think, like I said, this is one of those lawsuits that I think he's going to have another 3 or 4 before this is over.
Why this lawsuit, do you think that? Is it because, and I'll throw, I was looking at the lawsuit, and as a lawyer, I was looking at some ways that you might be able to attack this. Obviously, these are very, very serious allegations. But there's a part of the lawsuit where it says defendant Combs frightened and placed plaintiff in apprehension of harm when he forced and coerced plaintiff to engage in sex work for him during his white parties from 2004 to 2009. Do you think, one thing could be, is it realistic to believe that she was forced to do this for years? Is that something that you say, you know, that might be hard to prove? But then again, I mean...
Yeah, that's a long-ass time.
How many cases, sexual assault cases have we covered where people are consistently abused for years?
And she's an adult. And
maybe it takes them time to realize that they were abused, or they were in legitimate fear and felt they had no choice. But you tell me, is that one of the areas that you're looking at? I mean, why do you think that this is a case that maybe is piggybacking?
I think that's one of the reasons. You know, when I look at a lawsuit and I see that it's over a term of years, it doesn't mean that it's not true. It raises my radar. A lot of things raise my radar when I read different complaints, and I say to myself, like, I've dealt with victims of sex abuse. I've dealt with victims that have been trafficked. I don't just represent defendants. I've represented civil claims where this same kind of thing might have occurred. It becomes more unusual as you pile on facts, such as that it's over a period of 5 years, and then nothing happens between 2009 to 2024 until all these other lawsuits are filed, and then suddenly.
Yes, that looks very bad. Like, you didn't say shit until now.
It's like, hey, you know what, ding, ding, I'm going to file a lawsuit too because I can. I'm going to file a lawsuit too and jump on.
And I could get some money because we've seen him settle.
Jump on this kind of Diddy train and see if I can get my lawsuit settled. Or it could be a situation where, someone said, hey, you should talk to.
I think Diddy gave the key back to the city.
This young lady, the Southern District of New York, talks to her, and they're like, hey, I don't know if she is a sex worker or if she was abused and trafficked, and it could be on that wall. And to make sure that the Southern District understands I shouldn't be involved in this, I shouldn't be charged, I wasn't a sex worker, I was abused, she files this lawsuit to kind of put that over the top and say, like, look,
Wait, let's explore that a little bit. So obviously, right, you make it a great point that there could be people who piggyback that come out after all these years. Another way of looking at it, of course, is if somebody begins the lawsuits, if somebody comes out against a high-powered figure like a Diddy or a Harvey Weinstein or a R.Kelly, and obviously Sean Diddy Combs is not in the same realm as them, he hasn't been criminally charged, but it could give somebody the strength to come forward. But putting that to aside, I was curious of the timing, because do you think that she files this lawsuit because she is one of the witnesses who's going to testify in this grand jury, or again, assuming there is a grand jury investigating Combs, or he's the subject of the investigation? Do you think she's testified? Do you think she's spoken to them, and that is why we're now seeing this lawsuit? I think that's really interesting what you talked about.
I believe so. That's what I think that this is going. I think that
100%.
Individuals that are going to be called on by the Southern District of New York to come in and testify in front of a grand jury, I think as they are speaking to them, they say, oh, wait a minute, yeah, I was trafficked, I was this, I was that, and then all of a sudden it kind of leads to another lawsuit. That's why I think there's going to be more lawsuits to follow. So I don't know if that happened in this case, but
Absolutely. Everyone that's filing a lawsuit, you best believe the government is talking to them, and they're probably going to be a witness in a criminal case. It doesn't hurt them, it only benefits them. And here's the other thing too, just so you guys know. If Diddy's found guilty of these crimes from a criminal case, pretty much everyone that claims that they were sex trafficked by Diddy is going to win their case. Because keep in mind, beyond a reasonable doubt is all the way up here. Preponderance of the evidence is all the way down here. So if he's found guilty, right, beyond a reasonable doubt for sex trafficking, all these people that are filing these civil lawsuits against them, no matter how frivolous they are, they only need to prove 51% versus 49%. How strong is it going to look if they got him on beyond a reasonable doubt?
you see that happening in many cases where they're called in as a witness, they start going.
Now that I say that actually, I just had a Eureka moment. I think that's another reason why he's fighting so hard to stay out of jail, right? Because I think his strategy is, I'm going to stay out of jail, fight my Fed case for as long as I can, and I'm going to fight these civil cases, either settle out as many of them as I can, or fight them, then do my criminal case last. Because the worst thing that can happen, guys, is the criminal case goes, right? And he gets found guilty. Now, all these people that came forward with a civil case of sexual assault or sex trafficking or whatever, they all are instantly more valid because he's already been found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a federal case for sex trafficking. So, and obviously he's going to go do jail time, but then he's going to be financially liable for these people. So I think his legal team is looking at it like, all right, we're going to extend the federal case as long as we can. We're going to ask for discovery extensions, all that crap. Obviously, it's going to be a big case. So he'll be able to fight it while he's free, not ask for a speedy trial, extend the process, right? Extend discovery, all that crap, all these hearings, right? Delay, fight these civil cases, either settle them out or fight them, right? He'll probably end up settling them out, pay them all out, leave me the fuck alone, boom, 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 right? And then get on with the criminal case and fight that one and put all his eggs in that basket. Because if he loses the criminal case, not only does he lose his freedom, he's going to lose all the civil cases by default.
Through all the things, and the U.S. government, they start saying, hey, it sounds to me like you were you were trafficked. This doesn't sound like you were a sex worker. This doesn't sound like you were just getting paid to have sex or whatever. This sounds like he was doing this to you or this to you or this to you. Bells and whistles go off in those individuals' heads, and then they hire a civil attorney to file a civil lawsuit. That happens quite often as well. So you just don't know. But like I said, it raises your radar when you read these lawsuits and you start kind of questioning why it took over a period of time, why it took so long to come forward. And you're right. There's always arguments on the other side. Oh, this person was very powerful. But it wasn't like she wasn't a rapper. She wasn't a singer. She wasn't in that realm of, okay, I'm at this level of fame, and if I don't do this, he's going to blackball me. It's a very strange dynamic in that lawsuit that she's discussing, especially like that he forced her to have sex with Jacob the jeweler. Like these individuals that they're bringing in is very unusual.
The counter argument to that would be if you're somebody who's not very prominent and doesn't have the power, it's easier to blackball you and make sure you don't get the career or your boyfriend doesn't get the career that they were looking for. I do want your opinion about this, though, because there are a lot of people who are named in this lawsuit, a lot of companies. There are people, Jacob the jeweler, but she's also suing, I'll give everybody an idea.
Jacob the jeweler is crazy.
Tamiko Thomas, and I want everybody to listen to this.
For some of you guys that are wondering, like, who this dude is, right? This dude used to be fucking huge back in, like, in the early 2000s. He used to be famous for these watches. Right? Here he is. Right? We're rappers and shit like that. He used to be real big in the Jacob Arabo, 1965, American jeweler and watch designer who founded Jacob & Company in 1986 and grew it to become an international luxury brand. He began strictly as a jeweler with bold designs that appealed to celebrities who became regular customers. And then back in the early 2000s, like 2004 and shit like that, when she was hooking up with him allegedly, right? I remember these watches used to be huge back in the day. These were like the cool things to have. These watches from the different time zones, right? Which, I don't know what the hell this eBay shit is. It's probably fake. But you guys get the idea. These used to be huge. I think people still wear Jacobs, but yeah. But in the early 2000s, this was in all the music videos, bro. All of them. Damn, I'm showing my age right now.
Defendant Thomas was to defendant Combs as Ghislaine Maxwell was to Jeffrey Epstein. Without defendant Thomas, a woman using her inherent goodwill as a woman to gain the trust of a...
Someone say he got convicted of tax evasion? Nah, really? Look this up. Oh, wow. Okay, falsification of records and making false statements to a federal agent in connection with a federal money laundering investigation in Detroit that involved a drug ring. What? Hey, yo. Is that going to be the next episode of Fed Reacts? Oh, shit. This is back in 2007? Here's a press release and everything. So DEA got him, because obviously DEA went ahead and presented it. IRS. Oh, with Black Mafia. Oh! He got indicted with the Black Mafia guys? What the hell? And if you guys, I covered the Black Mafia case. More than $1 million in cash was seized by law enforcement officers. Okay, so I guess using the illegal proceeds of their narcotic sales, purchased and leased numerous luxury vehicles, acquired and sold real property and purchased jewelry while concealing the true source and nature of the funds involved in the transaction. Okay. Yeah, I covered this this case, guys, but I didn't know that this guy was involved in it. Jacob the jeweler. And it's on my Fed Reacts, by the way, guys, if you guys are wondering. Right here. Actually, it was a pretty good one, man. I went ahead and used the documentary to react to it. Let me see here. Where is it? Oh, right here. Yeah.
Multi-million.
Guys, go check this out, man. The BMF is what they're talking about. I definitely covered this one. So that was a good case. Definitely good. This was a really cool case. But I mean, who cares about Jacob the jeweler, man? Like the way that these guys were smuggling the drugs is way more interesting and important. So, yeah.
Another woman coordinating and acting as an avatar for defendant Combs. Defendant Combs would be unable to execute his corrupt sex trafficking organization. So when you hear something like that, right, is that give you, again, an allegation? But there seems to be, if we're talking about what kind of case the feds might be building here, this is not the first time that someone has made a comparison to Jeffrey Epstein, right? I mean, that's a big allegation to make.
Correct. And the thing is, like I said, the other thing about this lawsuit is I always look at who the lawyer is on the lawsuit as well.
Sure.
And the lawyer on this lawsuit, it's not some fly-by-night lawyer. He's a real guy. And there's, some of these lawsuits are filed by lawyers that might be newer lawyers, that might be fresh out of law school, that might be under, a certain amount of years in practice. And I look at those lawsuits differently, be it right or wrong. When a high-powered attorney or someone that you have a lot of respect for takes one of these cases, you'd hope and you usually find that they do their research before filing a federal lawsuit like this.
Of course.
So that's the thing that weighs against everything that I'm saying is that, there's a high-powered attorney and a respected attorney that took this case on, and you would imagine that he did some investigation prior to filing the lawsuit.
So as I mentioned, there's other people that she's suing. She's suing Vibe magazine and its parent company Penske because she claims that they helped Combs throw these parties where she was allegedly abused and trafficked, and that they allegedly exploited her in the sex trafficking conspiracy by using her likeness without her consent in a 2006 magazine issue about these parties. Bradford, I want to get into some more developments, but if you had a quick thought about that one, suing those companies as well.
I think that they kind of threw everything at the wall. I think a lot of these things will be very difficult to prove, especially like when there's sponsorship for these parties. So a lot of times you find that individual liquor companies or magazines, Maxim, any of these magazines that throw kind of like their support behind a party or support the party in a different way monetarily or just by covering it. Often you find that plaintiffs will sue those individuals saying that they have some sort of liability for it. Very difficult case to prove against those corporations and those individuals that work for those corporations, because you have to establish some sort of duty to protect and some sort of duty that they breached, especially like when they're saying, oh, she was used by them to promote these parties and things of that nature. Generally, they get releases signed. And I would imagine that if they did some sort of story on her personally, that she probably would have partook in that story willingly. And it wasn't something that she did or they did behind their back. And again, you're going to run into statute of limitations issues. You're going to run into some problems here, even though she may.
Someone said the real question is, did you check Jacob Arabov's early life?
They have claims on some things. You're going to run into some issues, especially with some of the claims against the corporations.
Okay, so we'll see which way that lawsuit works out. But I did want to get your perspective on two other developments happening in the middle of all of this. And one, to be frank with everybody, we were planning on talking to Bradford about this initially, and then the lawsuit happened, and then the subject of the investigation happened. But the first thing that we wanted to talk about was that it's being reported that Diddy is trying to sell his estimated multi-million-dollar.
Yep, every single time, Doge Poster. I checked it. Every time.
Los Angeles mansion, the property that was raided by the feds. It's in the Homely Hills area of Los Angeles. TMZ reported that sources say Diddy paid $40 million for this back in 2014. He's trying to sell it for $70 million for it, trying to sell it off market. It's reportedly 17,000 square feet, 8 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, 35-seat theater, swimming pool, swimming tunnel, basketball court. Why try to do this now, Bradford? Could it be he spends most of his time in Miami? Could it be he needs the money right now? Could it be it's bad memories from the raids? I mean, he's selling or allegedly selling this property right now in the middle of all this. Do you find it interesting?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a combination of all three.
Liquid.
Right? It could be that he spends more time in Miami than LA. That one, I think it would be at the bottom of the list. I think more likely than not, the lawyers have told him, hey, listen, you have these 10 lawsuits. 10 lawsuits with lawyers billing on 10 lawsuits, not to mention whatever the criminal case is. You're billing out at $2,000 an hour. It's very easily, you're reaching $1 million or $1.5 million a month in just lawsuit costs.
Right.
So
that's crazy.
If he can trim the fat, I think he's looking to trim the fat. If he can make a little money on a house that he doesn't use that often, I think that's why he's selling. That would be my guess. I think liquidating assets when you are facing what he's looking at right now is probably a pretty good idea. No matter how it looks to the public, you have to do what's right for you at the time. And I
absolutely
think what's right for him is, like I said, to trim the fat, get rid of things that he doesn't necessarily need to have and need the expense of, so he can concentrate all his effort on the resolution of these cases.
From an outward point of view, I mean, you couldn't tell that he's troubled. He's been out and about. TMZ reported that he was just in Wyoming. There's pictures of him water rafting or river rafting with his family. I am curious, now that we know that, or at least it's been reported that he's the subject of the investigation and all this is happening, you know what question I keep getting asked all the time, Bradford? Why doesn't he just run? Why does he just pick up and go to a country with...
A good question. Someone's asking, do I think that he was being investigated before the Cassie scandal? There's a chance, but I'll tell you this: the Cassie scandal and then this dude Lil Rod absolutely put some wings in the sail, put some wind in the sails. Excuse me.
Where there's no extradition. People say, why didn't Harvey Weinstein do that? Why didn't somebody? Well, what would your answer be to that?
It's a multitude. It's very funny because it's not one answer is the right answer for that. Sometimes it's ego. Sometimes it's I'm not guilty, so I'm sticking where I'm sticking. A lot of times it's the government's going to find out that he's making a run for it, because a guy like that, it's very difficult to get out of the country without everyone and anyone finding out. It's not like he's Bob Smith and he can just put a mustache on and some glasses and go hit a cruise ship and take off. So it's very difficult. Is it impossible? No. But if he gets caught doing it, I think the government is prepared to just file a complaint and arrest him on the spot. And no one likes that. That is not a good look. So I think that it's probably multifaceted, but I think the biggest part of that is
I don't think they'll do the complaint route. They'll file an information and just bring him in and cooperate.
The government probably already let his attorneys know if he tries to make a run for it, we're prepared to just file a complaint, arrest him under a complaint, and then just hold him no bond. As opposed to if they actually
which Diddy's not going to do that. That would be bad. No bond.
File the charges towards the end of the summer, he might be eligible for a bond because he knew that these charges were coming and he never made a run for it.
Speaking bond, I have one final.
Which I think this is why his team, which I've been told this inside information, his team has been telling the feds where he's been traveling everywhere he goes.
Question for you, and I know I've hit you with a lot of different things that are happening in the Diddy saga, but clearly a lot is happening. So Roger Bonds, this is Combs' former bodyguard, appeared on this program called Vlad TV and said, quote, "If I get subpoenaed, I'm not going to jail for nobody." And then he doubled down on that he would testify even if he were promised he wouldn't get in trouble. I can't say that I'm going to be an advocate for one thing and then not stand up for another thing. So if I say that he's evil and I say all these things about him, if I was just one of those people that went back in my corner and sat down, then I'm continuing for this to keep going on and on. I'm showing this person that they're just as powerful as they think they was. Anything I can do to help these women, I would do. That's quite a statement. What do you make of it?
I think that, again,
got an axe to grind probably.
When you look at ex-employees, and I'm looking at this from the defense perspective, when you look at ex-employees, a lot of times they have a bone to pick with an individual. They weren't paid enough. They weren't paid the right thing.
This guy's sharp.
Who knows? But that being said, I think it's very dangerous if there's someone who is your right-hand man bodyguard, and if they've witnessed things and they've seen things and now they're willing to come in and testify, especially when you speak, if you're speaking freely in a car and you have your bodyguard there and he's overhearing things, that's always dangerous because he could testify to a lot of different things. And it's hard to say that didn't happen. It's hard to say, hey, listen, even though he was in the car, that wasn't said. What is the flip side to that is that these bodyguards that see things or witness things and they don't come forward at the time, but now they want to come forward. Now they want to protect women. Now they want to do.
And that's when that's what the defense is going to attack. They're going to attack his credibility immediately. That's what the defense is going to say.
All these things. That's
good point.
The other side of that coin. But again, you could say he was so powerful, this guy would have never worked in the business again. There's defenses to everything, but it's not good. It's not good when a bodyguard wants to come forward.
And assuming the allegations against Diddy, all the allegations are true, and if he was a part of this, if he was a participant, then I would imagine he'd have to work out some sort of deal, an immunity deal, to testify, because then he'd be just as guilty, right?
Absolutely.
Right, and I think that's why he's saying I'm not going to go to jail for anybody.
Right.
Because I think that most of the people that are involved and most of the people that were around him at the time, I think are all very nervous that somehow, some way, the Southern District of New York would put them involved in everything else. And I think that's why
that's why so many of them are going to come forward and talk.
Sent him a subject letter, not a target letter, because it could be that there's multiple subjects.
I think that's a very fair assessment. Again, he's innocent until proven guilty. These are allegations. He hasn't been arrested, hasn't been criminally charged, hasn't been found liable in a court of law.
Yeah, it's because there's a lot of targets. That's why, guys. They're doing a RICO indictment. I'm putting my money. I think this is going to be a RICO indictment. We're going to have at least 3 to 10 defendants, and it's going to be the RICO charge. And the prerequisite charges of that are going to be solicitation of minors, sex trafficking, interstate transportation, all that bullshit.
But fascinating updates nonetheless. And how great is Bradford Cohen? Breaking down everything about what's going on here. I threw so much at him. Bradford, thank you so much for your expertise, your insight, and your time. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Than's for having me.
All right, everybody, that's all we have for you.
I definitely gave some great insight there. Shout out to that guy. He's an entertainment lawyer, but he definitely knows his shit. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. Give me ones in the chat if you guys learned something today. We went over so much. We went over RICO. We went over the crimes that are established in RICO. We went over what a search warrant entails, what's in a search warrant, attachment A, B, C, things to be searched, place to be searched, affidavits, what it takes to get a search warrant. We went over what HSI is. We went over what charges more than likely is going to be hit with. We went over what a grand jury is versus a jury trial. So yeah, we went over a lot, man. But yeah. Love y'all, Ninjas, man. Guys, CastleClub.tv, guys. You guys can see right there on the bottom corner right here. Yeah, CastleClub.tv, guys. Go ahead and get in there, man. We're almost at 7,000 strong. I want to get to 10,000 because at that point, that is how we stay independent. That's how we're able to tell all these haters, F you. That's how we're able to continue to make the content. That's how we're able to continue to make progress and, keep things going, man, and continue to innovate. You guys see that we're doing the IRL streams. I predict pretty soon people are going to try to copy that. It is what it is. But, we're the innovators, man. We're the originators, the innovators. And at the end of the day, people are going to always follow our lead, man. So for us to be able to continue to innovate, we need people to support on CastleClub. Because like I said before, guys, I'm doing the stream right now. You know, besides some of the donations that come in, etc., that's cool. But this is pretty much free, man, because we're 100% demonetized, which sucks. And, you know, we reapplied for monetization. We'll see what happens. I'm not holding my breath, man. Like, Dave denied us plenty of times for a bunch of nebulous reasons. So, yeah. If Rico leads to the Clintons, expect a bunch of suicides in the future, okay? Yeah. Guys, thank you so much. Okay, you guys are saying play Overwatch. We'll see. We'll see. No, well, here's the thing, guys. The thing with Crowder is I have the idea, the change in my mind. I got the idea, but I live stream it. And it's on intersexual dynamics, so it is very different. You know, the whole change my mind thing is still street debates live. So I don't think many people do that. I mean, I could just get rid of the change my mind and then boom, it's totally mine. So you guys could call it copying if you guys want, but I don't really think so because it's completely different. Just the phrase change my mind. Let's see here. Yeah, yo, free Lucas Gage. Yes, I saw what the hell happened with him on Twitter, man. Fucking bullshit, man. Guys, tomorrow, Money Monday, we're gonna have DL Saint on. We're gonna one of our generals out of Tampa. We're gonna talk about how to become an air traffic controller, make $100K per year doing that. Great career field. I don't think you need a college degree for it either. And then we're also gonna do the political talk show, FNF News, tomorrow, and it's gonna be a good time, guys. It's gonna be a good time. Then you guys are gonna get some after hours on Wednesday, and yeah, man, yeah. So cool. All right, ninjas, love you guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Fresh and Fit and Money Monday, and then we're gonna have Fresh and Fit News, the debut of Fresh and Fit News, and yeah, love you guys, man. Peace.
I'm Special Agent with Homeland Security Investigations, okay, guys? HSI.
This is what Fed Reacts covers.
Defender Jeffrey Williams and Associate YSL did commit the felony. So here